right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving all honors and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Kakwadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles, great millstone, the elder bishops. Shalom to you beautiful men. Shalom to the 144,000. The brothers that are pushing this truth right now, this very hour. I'm the brother Yazarala from the GMS Dallas camp, coming back at you with another quick hit lesson. I brought the sides, edifying unto those who are meant to receive it. All right. The name of this lesson is Just Press Play. And I got this idea for this title from the beloved brother Benaiah last night. And I just want to, I'm driving, so I can't really pull my sword out, but I'll just roughly paraphrase a couple of precepts. Won't be too long here. But the name of the video again is Just Press Play. And just a little testimony, last night we at camp. And we had a beautiful camp last night, man, putting up our spiritual sacrifices, doing the work. And two of the brothers pulled me aside after camp, the beloved brother Tazamar, the beloved brother Benaiah. Brother, holler at you for a minute. I'm like, cool, of course, and all that, happens. Immediately you start examining yourself, make sure you ain't offending the brother, I ain't did nothing wrong, and it ain't always the case, so they pulled me aside, and I'm feeling great and everything. And so the brother started talking to me, and and just to give you some info on the back, I live at the camp house. And I ain't nobody. I'm brand new in this thing. I'm just a few years into this thing. I ain't, but for some reason or another, the Lord put me at the camp house where I'm just around nothing but the elders and the apostles, built great relationships with these beautiful men. Hey, man's going to the Lord, right? So, he put me in a very beautiful position to be able to have that access and increase in the spirit and being in that company of men, right? And, so we have camp Fridays, Tuesdays, and Saturdays we have class. Thursdays the brothers come out to the camp house and they do, lessons and stuff. And like I said, I lived there. A lot of times I participated in the Thursday camps. That's usually with the officers, which I am not. The last couple of times the brothers pulled me aside, just, checking on me, brother, you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And he was like, we just want to say, because it seems like, you ain't been showing nothing, personally, and I'm being wicked, but it just kind of seems like you kind of been pulling away, like I don't know if you got offended by a brother or whatever the case may be, but, bros come around and do, on Thursdays, you go upstairs, you're just not there, you're not around, and we just want to, just notice some things, man, and we just kind of want to, talk with you about them. And I was kind of like, damn. And I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm just listening and stuff. And keep in mind, it's a beautiful thing. And I thank these brothers for it. It's a beautiful thing to have a body man that's always looking out for you. Galatians 6:2 talks about, taking upon one another's burdens. So anything that we may be going through, you have to take that on, because we are a body and we are responsible for one another, right? So just in the process of talking with them brothers, I'm sitting here, I'm kind of like, damn, and I'm kind of, thinking back, doing inventory, and it was like, yeah, and as I said, these brothers been in this truth for a while, and these are my teachers, so you have to understand. And the brother told me, he's like, look, certain signs and certain things that we may have seen and may observe, it ain't like you were doing anything wicked, but I guess I was exuding signs that they have seen other brothers do in the past, and lo and behold, them same brothers wind up falling out, being offended, or whatever the case may be, and they just, they didn't rock with the camp anymore. They went back into the congregation of the dead. This is what happens when you leave this thing. And those were, I guess, things that I were kind of giving off, and I didn't know, that I was giving those things off. But again, Call Halo Yahweh Shah was brought to my attention, because sometimes even when you're going through things, you don't know how it's being perceived by brothers, so you always want to be mindful of that. And I guess I really wasn't, because I was just, I was feeling good, but I know also at the same time, so as I'm talking to them, and I told the brothers, I'm like, look, I have, it ain't that, it's like, I have lessons and stuff that I know that I, want to get out, but I ain't really had the time really to get them out, so it's like, last couple of times, I've been upstairs, and I, either reading or trying to get lessons out of this or that, the bros was just like, but at the same time, we, you have the body there, and which is so true. It's beautiful, we got to do our own lessons, we have our own relationship with Yahweh, when you got the brothers coming around and you guys actually doing lessons, any chance you get, you always want to be a part of that. You can do your own lessons on your own time. You always want to be a part of that. Take advantage of that sanctuary and that time to be able to gel with brothers, because that's not gonna do nothing but build you more. And I thank you again, Brother Tasman, Brother Benai, for the conversation last night. I love you brothers. You brothers are beautiful brothers, and the water for you, man. Just for you and bringing it to my attention. And so I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about it, I'm listening to the brothers, and I'm like, damn, I ain't really, I'm feeling good, got a job, brothers, I got this truth first and foremost, I got this body, I'm not really, and so, we, talking, we breaking, that was pretty much that. But then on the way home, and I'm driving, and I'm just kind of thinking, I'm going back in my head, and it kind of hit me like, whoa. And it's something, I was going through some stuff last week, and so I picked up the phone on the way home, and I called Benai, and I'm like, hey, brother, first of all, Thwada, for the conversation, you and Tasman, but just kind of add on what you were saying, brother. Last week, I don't know if you remember, but I put in the chat, for brothers just to pray for me, that I be more diligent in the spirit, demons, be jumping on us and whatnot. And I say all that to say is because I remember last week around that time, and brothers gonna go through this. If you haven't, you're gonna go through it. And this is the first time me being in this truth that I felt like the spirit wasn't on me. And brothers, when I tell you, it kind of bugged me out because, I'm thinking the precepts and all that, and nothing was just coming. And I'm not familiar with that. Since I've been in this thing, I'm not familiar with that feeling at all. And it kind of freaked me out a little bit. So, I fast. I didn't eat for 2 or 3 days, just drank liquids and stuff. I prayed, I anointed myself, and called on Yahweh Shemi Al-Shah. He put the spirit back upon me. I literally felt it. But just in that process at that time, I realized that I was going through it, and it wasn't pleasurable, and so I was telling Benai that, and I was like, I got all these lessons and stuff that I'm doing that I need to do, but it was just weird. It was like, for some reason, the spirit wasn't kicking in for me to do them, and that's usually not the case. It's like, usually I got stuff, and I'm like, man, I can't wait. But it was like, even when I was thinking about it, I was like, nothing was really coming. I have titles, maybe I have 1 or 2 precepts, but it was just like there was nothing. And then, like I said, it was kind of bugging me out, like, damn. And so the priest told me, Brother Benai, he told me, he's like, look, for a lot of times when that happens, because we know that ain't nothing but Satan, man, and Satan's looking to sift us, all right? He's looking to knock us off our square, and anything that he can do, any crevice that he can creep in, he's going to creep in, and as I said, there was a time, it kind of felt like, the spirit was literally gone from me, and I can't really explain it. It was a scary feeling. And as I said, I prayed and the Lord put the spirit back upon me. But when I was just like, look, these things are going to happen. He's like, look, when stuff like that happens, because the scripture talks about, think not what you should say in that hour, for the Lord will give you a mouth, to say what you need to say. And we know that's going into persecution, but that's also, I liken that to when we out on the highways and hedges. Sometimes, you be out there and the brother be like, you ready to preach? You don't have nothing. When I first came into this thing, I always come on and have precepts ready and this and that. And as you kind of get seasoned, you kind of come to this thing and it's like, you know what, when you go to camp, it's like, I don't really have nothing on my mind, but I'm okay with that. Why? Because I just lean on the spirit. I'll just get in front of the camera and I'll open my mouth. The brother will play, and I'll just, precepts start coming, and bro bring this precept, brother bring that precept, and pretty soon we're just rocking, because it's all about keeping our medicine strong, right? And so that's what he's telling me. He's like, look, when situations like that happen, brother, hey, man, just pull out your sword, man, get in front of your computer or your phone, man, and just press play. Don't think too much about, worry too much about, damn, the spirit's not with me, because those things, you can go down that rabbit hole of bullshit. Next thing, you question whether or not the Lord is dealing with you, if you're really a man of the Lord, if the Lord really love you, and all these other things start to come about, and you start to, think about the scriptures and different stuff that happen with men and all kind of stuff, and you can bug yourself out. So you don't want to do that. At the end of the day, you just always have to trust in the Lord. Understand and know that you're a man of the Lord. Be confident in this thing that we're in, man, and just press play. It was, when he said it, I was like, wow, because it was a beautiful title, but it was a lesson. And I was just like, wow, I didn't really, it didn't really hit me like that. Just trusting in the spirit, man, because you're going to go through these times where you're going to have that. And again, the water for you brothers, because as I said, brothers out there, if you're going through that, you want to be mindful of that, because brothers is watching for your soul. We watch for one another's spirits, man. All right. Anything that may seem off, because we're not like niggas in the world. We don't look for things carnally. No, per se, everything is in the spirit. You have a lot of niggas that you may be going through certain shit, and they don't give a flying fuck. They're not gonna say nothing. They be too busy on their own shit. Or some of these niggas be probably the cause of the reason why you're going through shit just ain't telling you, you know? So it's like, when you have a beautiful body like this, man, the brothers are looking out for you, man. You know, be thankful of that, because you can be exuding off an energy or spirit that you don't necessarily know. And on top of that, that could be offending another brother. And that's the last thing you want to do, is offending this thing of ours, right? So just be mindful always of how you rock and trust in the Lord, man. And when these things come about, you understand this is a fight, constant fight, day in, day out. It doesn't stop. It will not stop until Yahweh Shem Yahushua get here. So if you got lessons, you got things that you want to do, man, don't worry about, man, I'm not getting this done, that, getting, you know, you want to pray, you know what I mean? Anoint yourself if need be, you know, rebuke that damn demon that's on you, man. Sit down in front of that computer, your phone, man, and just press play and trust in the Spirit. The Lord will give you things to say through the Spirit, man. And before you know, you got a lesson. All right, and I just wanted to put that out there. And again, the water for you brothers, man, just for seeing that in me last night, pulling me aside, man. Beloved brother Tazama, the beloved brother Benai, you know, and just making that known to me, bringing that up to me, because I didn't know that. Like I said, you can offend a brother just by being in your own shit and not being connected. So always stay locked in. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I didn't have my sword with me, so I, you know, roughly paraphrase a couple precepts, but it's a testimony I was going through here last night. And I just kind of wanted to put it on wax here. You know, if any brothers that may be going through it, I'm here at the slave ship now. But hey, with that, I want to give all honors and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachachakodash. All right, stay in the Spirit, fight, brothers, and just press play. When in doubt, just press play and trust in the Spirit. Shalom.